Hi, Dina here, littlewidow.com. It's been a while, a lot of changes. I have not felt like talking. We're gonna talk a lot about astrology today, and I know we're gonna talk a lot about astrology today because this is my second time doing this. This is why the cards are out already. The reason I haven't been doing readings mainly is because I'm gonna blame it on Neptune. It's trying my Mercury right now, and I cannot, I'm flubbing all my words. I can't get things out the way I want to. I'm saying the wrong things. It's really frustrating, and it's making it not fun. And I like to read on camera, and I'm just, it's hard, you know? And I've been kind of busy, so I don't have time to edit these when I mess them up. You know, as witnessed by the wet hair, and I don't even have pants on, for real. It's hot, whatever. You can't see anyway. All right, so we're doing a reading today for someone whose birthday it is. Happy birthday. Your girl, Latoya, wanted to do this for you. She said you were going through a bit of a rough time, which I can see is completely true from your chart. So I want to talk about this first. I feel like astrology is the most important thing here, and I have your chart up. So basically, the way you are under some very heavy transits right now from outer planets. Your sun is at 17 degrees of Cancer. The sun is at 17 degrees of Cancer again today. It's your birthday. It returns to 17 degrees of Cancer on July 9th. Give or take, every year. So the way transits work in astrology is the planets move, and they form aspects to things as they were the day you were born. So today, Saturn is at 17 degrees of Capricorn, conjunct the North Node at 17 degrees of Capricorn. Opposite the sun at 17 degrees of Cancer. So they're opposite your sun. Pluto is at 22 degrees of Capricorn, and your Venus is at 23 degrees of Cancer. So Pluto is basically opposite your Venus. These are really slow moving planets. This isn't something that it's like, oh, I'm having a bad week. These, Pluto is years. So I can tell that you've been feeling this for a while, probably at least since winter. The thing with slow-moving planets like this and transits is that they are here to teach us things. That's why they take so long. So the first thing I want to say is that whatever this is not going away overnight. It's a process. These, just to be completely honest, Saturn and Pluto will not be done with you, will not be away from your Venus and your Sun for about a year and a half. That doesn't mean that the whole next year and a half are gonna suck or are gonna be as hard as they've been. The faster we learn our lessons, the less brutal things are. But we have to figure out what they're trying to teach us first. And then whatever situation this is bringing up in our lives is not gonna be completely resolved until really a year and a half. I think probably January 2021. And then around that time, it looks like you're entering a quite peaceful period. There actually is something interesting in your progressed chart then, which is that your progressed Mercury, which is your chart ruler, is moving retrograde. I know Mercury retrograde, everybody hates it. Mercury's retrograde right now. Maybe that's why I've had to make this video twice. The first one wouldn't upload, so that's why I'm just oh, maybe it's a sign. I don't know. But right now, before Mercury turns retrograde, it appears to not be moving at all. It's standing still. So planets in our progressed charts move so slowly that if you feel everything you're doing communication-wise or, trying to get messages across, you're beating your head against a wall, that's because it's stationary just about right now for you. It's not moving. So even though retrograde can be difficult, it's better than standing still. So that'll happen around the same time that this Pluto-Saturn nonsense is done for you. So that should be like kind of like floodwaters coming through. All of this is happening in your 2nd and 8th houses. So Venus, you know, the sun is kind of like who we are. It challenges our own identity as a person, our own life force, what we want out of life, all of that. And then Venus, you know, we tend to think of it as love, and it definitely could be. It could definitely have to do with, you know, love relationships giving you trouble. But a lot of the times what gets underplayed is the fact that Venus is also money, really. I mean, it is. Venus is the nice things in life. It's comfort, it's luxury, and it is money. To further that point, these oppositions are happening in your second and 8th houses. That's money. The 2nd house is your personal possessions, really. It's your objects. And the 8th house, you know, a lot of people say sex, death, and taxes. And it definitely can be sex, and it definitely can be death. But for the most part, unless you see other major things pointing to, you know, death issues, for the most part, the 8th house is other people's money. It's debt, it's shared resources. It's, you know, like untangling resources from a divorce, or like in the 7th house, we settle down, right? We meet our partner, and we're gonna get married, or we're gonna get engaged, or we're gonna do whatever. And then in the 8th house, we have a mortgage. We have this other dude who wants us to spend less, or wants to determine how we spend our money, or we have to share our resources with this person who doesn't know how to manage money. That's the 8th house. The 8th house can be inheritances for that reason as well. I almost think that that's sometimes where it gets its, you know, it gets some of the death connotation, because it's, you know, like it's somebody else's money that comes into our life. So the 8th house has a lot to do with shared resources. And power. It's Pluto's natural house, and for you, Pluto is traveling through that, makes it extra powerful. So there's money stuff, there's power stuff, there's shared resource stuff. Pluto can be brutal if you resist it. It's here to change us, and it's here to change us for the better, whatever it is. Saturn is I don't think that it's a coincidence that Saturn is conjunct a node opposite your sun on your birthday. Saturn is the teacher. He's the father of the zodiac, really, I would say. And the North Node, nodes tend to have a life lesson to them. They tend to have karmic connections. The North Node has our soul's best interest at heart a lot of the time. The South Node has a bad rep. He kind of gets like, you know, karmic bullshit that we bring with us. Whereas the North Node is kind of supposed to be like our North Star. It's what we should be pointing to in this incarnation. So they say. So the fact that Saturn, he's a drag. He is, you know, he's gonna bang on your desk and tell you to shut up and pay attention. He's conjunct the North Node today opposite your sun. I can see that you're in a hard time, you know, but it's here for a reason. And the faster you learn its lesson, the easier the process will be. And when you come out the other side of it, I would expect you to be, you know, this is pivotal. So this is kind of like a once in a lifetime, oh my, like this is the kind of thing you're gonna look back on and you're gonna be like, this is when I got strong. So at least that's how it looks to me. When it's over, I see you entering a relaxed, contemplative period where you can figure out what you want and who you are. But right now, this is where your mettle gets tested, which I did the reading already. So it flowed really nicely the first time if I didn't make 17 mistakes. So I just put both videos up, but they say the same thing. All right, so, here's the other point that I wanted to make. So these eclipses that are happening this summer are in Cancer and Capricorn. Lucky you. So they're right there, again, near your Venus and your Sun, and opposite your Venus and your Sun. And so this might not be relevant to you because you may have been too young the first time around, but I'm gonna mention it anyway because it's relevant. It's been relevant to me. My sun is actually square all this stuff right now. I'm a Libra, but it's 25 degrees, so I'm feeling some of it too. It's relevant to me, and it's been relevant to a couple other people that I talked to. These eclipses that we are having this summer, the first of which was, I guess, last week, they're at almost the exact same degrees of Cancer and Capricorn as the eclipses in the summer of 2000. So I know you were only 16 that summer, so it might, you might have been too young for it to have been a pivotal summer or to have done anything, but I want you to think back on where you were that summer. And any issues or anything that happened or any behavior patterns or thought patterns that may have started then that are left unresolved, because that is all tied into this, if it exists for you. Again, sometimes when we're so young, there could be a lesson there that you're not even realizing. So like, I'll just say a personal thing here just to kind of illustrate this. So these eclipses are also in my 2nd and 8th houses as well. And as I said, the 8th can be death, and that is the summer that I lost my father. It was really sudden. I was 19, and that was something that I thought was done. I mean, it was 19 years ago. And yet, over the past couple weeks to months, I have been thinking about that a lot, and I've been reviewing that. And I realized how that has impacted every relationship I've ever had, was losing my dad like that. And additionally, so like, it's not over. I thought it was over, but it's not. I keep continuing on with like this pattern that I established that was based on that premature loss. Also, like, that was the first time, that was when I was an adult. I was on my own. I had a mom, but like, there was no more money. The provider was gone. That was it. It was like, now you take care of yourself. 8th house. Power, money, shared resources or your own resources, right? 2nd is you, 8th is them, power struggle between the two. Those are the same things, those are the same themes coming up in my life right now, Like, it's really sinking in, like, I'm not half of a whole anymore, I'm me. It's me. I'm paying for my house. I'm on my own. I have no one else to count on financially. It's me or me and the dog are on the street, And I've been thinking about money a lot. I've been thinking about resources a lot. I've been thinking about all of that stuff a lot. And it's a similar theme. So I'm just saying that just to bring that to your attention, because we get in these patterns and we have things that happen to us, and we think because we don't think about them daily anymore, or we don't cry about them, or whatever, that they're not formatting our lives, but they are. There are fears and there are hang-ups and there's all kinds of bullshit that goes on underneath that dictates what we see every day. So look at that. Especially, like, they're so close to your sun and your Venus. I find it hard to believe that there might not be some kind of recurrent theme from the summer that you turned 16. So look at that. Maybe it's a money thing. Maybe it's a pattern of like bad relationships. I don't know, but look at that, and I think that that's the clue to how you untangle this and learn whatever lesson it is faster. Things can be unpleasant and the situation can drag on, but if you know what it means and you can get outside of it, then it's not going to affect you in the same way anymore. So there's your astrological piece, okay? And again, so one more thing. Things click on and off a little bit, especially with Pluto. It doesn't tend to be like a slow drag of unpleasantness. Every time Pluto gets closer to 23 degrees, you're gonna feel it more. Those are gonna be like the particularly nasty little bits. So, if you read astrology blogs and stuff, just keep your eye on the degree, because it backs up and goes forward, and really likes to drive over you a couple times to make sure you knew it was there. So, just it's an important growth period, really. I mean, it is. All right, so astrology aside, I did a reading for a year in general. That's what I like to do when I do a birthday reading. Now, I use the Chicholi Tarot. That was the vibe I got off you. And I'm going to put my typical caveat on a yearly reading, which is that a year is a long time for tarot cards. Essentially, the way that I believe that tarot cards work is that they are showing us the most probable path given where you are now. And if there's just like a million different paths you can take, at a certain point in a month or 2 months, maybe you're not going to deviate that much, and this is going to be the same. But over the course of a year, we can make so many little left turns that we could be all the way over here, whereas if we just stayed straight, we'd be here. So, grain of salt, And I did say that in the original reading, and I kind of went into it a little bit more in case it was bad, but it's not bad. It's a really nice reading. I actually think you're going to have a great 35th year. So I see a lot of healing happening is actually what this looks like to me. So for starters, we see you as the Fool, which is card 0. This shows someone at the beginning of a new chapter in their life. They are not necessarily footloose and fancy free, but everything's new. So it's striking out on your own, probably. New chapter, new life, new start. The Chariot is here. So the Chariot is actually Cancer's tarot card of the major arcana. This card shows a woman cradling her baby. Might be specific, and she, so the Chariot shows movement. It also shows sometimes like a battle of wills. So I think that is, it's just kind of showing that like you have a will, you have a direction you want to take. You might be up against someone else's will and the direction they want to take, or it just might be showing that like there's a lot of movement and chaos and things like that, and it's a period of change and movement. So one of the two things, either you're butting against someone else, which that would bring it back to the whole Pluto thing, because Pluto is power, power struggles, but it could also just be showing movement and change. Now the card that shows basically what is your chief source of conflict, or what's standing in your way, is a fairly passive card, actually. It's the Knight of Cups. So court cards, and you have another court card coming up in a pivotal position. So I'm just going to say now that court cards can either be people or situations or energies. As a person, this could be a water sign, not older. He would be 30s at the oldest. It could literally be a person effing your shit up. Or it could be these like romantic ideals that you had. Because like the Knight of Cups, he comes in on his little horse and he's like, hey baby, and like, it's like, you think he's a knight in shining armor. So that could be blocking you, like this idea of like, this idea that you had of like what a relationship was going to be or what it should be or whatever, if it's not a literal person. In any case, it's not a super strong card. You're stronger than this card. I can see like the basis of our situation is the Ten of Wands. This isn't a great representation of the Ten of Wands. This is a cute little veggie town. The Ten of Wands is that is a card of, it is like I'm overburdened. The guy in the Ten of Wands is like in the Rider-Waite deck is like carrying he's carrying 10 wands. And he was like super excited when he started collecting the wands, probably, he was like, this is gonna be awesome. And then by the time he gets to the 10, he just wants to he does not want any more wands. He doesn't ever want to see wands again. So like the 10 of Wands, it's like, I'm done. Like I used to be passionate about this and now I'm overburdened, I'm tired, I can't carry anymore. Like he's just, the 10 of Wands is like, it's a lot. So I can see that that's the situation we're in. You were trying to be responsible. 7 of Pentacles, like you really were. I have the 3 of Pentacles is here. I can see it's like you're trying to hold things together. You're trying to be an adult. You're trying to be patient. You're trying to persevere, and you are stinking tired. And you just want, it's like you probably feel like it's cracking you a little bit. In your near future is the Queen of Cups, which is a lovely card. I love that version of it too. Really pretty. So you're a Cancer, so this could definitely, and a mom, as I understand it. So this could definitely show you coming into your own, feeling more like yourself again. It could show you getting to focus on your kids and nesting and like all kinds of Cancer-y mom vibes. It can definitely show that. It could also show that maybe a woman who is motherly might help you and play a key part in the future. Or it could just be a general soothing, like salve of an energy. Like it could be just feeling calm and nurtured, by life for a while. So it's, in any case, it's a welcome card. It's nice. It's feeling love and if it's not anybody specific, and it's not you, at the very least, it's feeling like nurtured a little by the Great Mother, Also, so as we move out, we fan out a little bit. And I would say that that's probably showing like where we are now, and you're moving to like a more peaceful place. I would say that's like a 2 to 3 month span there. So as we extend out throughout the year, I see you, the Fool is not an unhappy card. So we're gonna couple that with the Knight of Cups, the 9 of Cups, also representing you, which a lot of people call this the wish card. It's a really nice card. It's like a guy who's like all fat and happy, surrounded by cups. He has what he wants. He's content. That's the word I would use for the 9 of Cups, contentment. So I see you moving towards that, like feeling content. Sometimes it does have a solitary component, and the Hermit pops up here as well. Maybe you're afraid of being alone based on the position that it's in. That's a beautiful Hermit card. But we need to, the Hermit has a light all the time. She does too. And that's important to remember. We're not alone. We're just by ourselves sometimes. We need these periods of contemplation so that we can come out of, we can learn from things. You need the time. And it's showing, and the 4 of Swords is here too, which is a really, again, it's a card of taking some time for yourself. This card is often shown as someone lying down like in a cathedral, and he's healing, he's meditating. He looks dead, but he's not. He is fine. So these are all cards of healing. So I see you healing, taking some time for yourself. And then the outcome card, which I would read as the theme for the general year, and kind of like, in this case, I would say like when you look back on the year, and what's gonna kind of permeate that. I really, to be honest, after looking at your chart and kind of like seeing the difficulty that I think you're having, just from that, I couldn't have chosen a better card, to be completely honest with you, for your outcome. It's Temperance. And this is one of my favorite versions of the Temperance card. So Temperance in the Rider-Waite deck shows an angel performing the act of alchemy. A lot of people think of Temperance like the temperance movement, and I've said that before. And honestly, in my own life, it actually has meant temperance. Like, I stopped drinking when I kept drawing this card all the time, ironically. But another thing that I've drawn this card for a lot, for myself and for others, is people who find strength for something somewhere else. It is, to me, this card has to do with giving it up to a higher power. If you believe in that, I hope it's finding strength to change things through some kind of grace. is the best way I can describe this card. The act of alchemy, I mean, if you think about it, right, is you're taking water and turning it into wine, you know, like Jesus, or you're, you know, taking a piece of coal and you're turning it into gold. You know, you're tempering metal. Pluto's making you stronger. All of it, really, and there's an element of bliss and peace to it. And the whole thing is overseen by an angel in most decks. So to me, a lot of this is knowing that as unpleasant as the transformation process seems, it leads to, I don't want to be so cliched as to say it leads to gold at the end. I just can't allow myself to say that, but I really want to. It leads to something better. And the thing about the Temperance card that I like, the Temperance card is not like the Death card, which the Death card would be super Plutonian, right? The Death card, it often leads to something better. But that transition, that period of change is abrupt and it's cruel and it hurts. Temperance is gentle. Temperance changes you the way your mom, the way some wonderful mom would change you, the way the Queen of Cups would change you. Temperance changes you through grace. So I consider Temperance to be a beautiful blending of opposites, finding of solutions, getting stronger as a person, growing, and, you know, making lemonade out of lemons. That's Temperance to me. It's taking a whole bunch of bullshit and making something beautiful out of it. And again, I haven't read ever that this was the case, but for me personally and for a couple other readings I've done, I've seen after the fact that this card was like giving it to God. That was like, I can't do this. You show me what to do and I'll do it. I'm yours. You know, it's like you handle this because I'm done. And the change just happened. It was gentle. So it's a beautiful, beautiful healing card in any respect. There's nothing traumatic or unpleasant in the Temperance card, I would not say. It shows balance. It shows calm. I hope that you look, you know, by the end of the year, you look all blissed out like that girl who, I think that guy's a Pisces probably, I would say, if I had to guess, right? He's a fish. I hope I hope you find peace and calm. And but everything looks really positive with this, and I think you're going to be okay, and that what's happening now is going to make you're going to be like Khaleesi when you're done with this. So it will get better. It just won't get better immediately. However, if the cards are any indication, help is on the way. So happy birthday, and all right, I hope that helped a little bit. Thanks.